Hey, good morning, guys. My name is Michael, and I do real estate test prep for the state of Washington. So to give you guys a little overview of what I do is I go over the questions and answers of the practice exams from the Rockwell Institute. So my goal is to help myself and others basically become real estate agents. So let's get started. Question. 5 people buy an investment property. They take the title so they each have equal ownership shares. So that if one of them dies, his share will pass to his heirs. How did they take title? Answer is tenancy in common. Explanation. If co-owners are able to will their properties to their heirs instead of having it pass through right of survivorship, that means they hold title as tenants in common, not just as joint tenants. Tenants in common may have equal or unequal ownership interests. Fun fact. Okay, question. What would cause a judgment lien to be imposed on a landowner's property? Answer is lawsuit. Explanation. A judgment lien attaches to the property of someone who loses a lawsuit in order to pay damages. This person is referred to as the judgment debtor. If the judgment debtor doesn't pay off the liens, then the court can issue a writ of execution ordering the sale of a property. Okay, question. Maria buys a home in a subdivision that is subject to restricted covenants. The city Maria lives in allows fences, but the subdivision's restrictive covenants don't. Of the following, which is true? And the answer is the deed's restrictive covenants take precedence over the city because they are more restrictive. Explanation. When zoning ordinance and private restrictions conflict, the more restrictive the two prevails. Okay, question. Siobhan listed her property with ABC Realty. She asked her agent, Robert, to draft deed covenants that will prevent a buyer from subdividing the land in the future. She'd also like the agent to create a trust from the sale to benefit her disabled sister. Robert's reply should be what? Answer is, I can't help you with either of these. You need to contact an attorney. Gotta get these up in goals. Explanation. A real estate licensee is limited to filling in the blanks on a printed form drafted by attorneys. Going beyond that by drafting covenants or trust documents, for example, would be considered an unauthorized practice of law. Okay, question. Mortgage rates are primarily influenced by the what? Answer. Condition of the money market. Explanation. Mortgage interest rates are primarily influenced by the supply and demand for funds in the money market. This is determined by many factors, including actions taken by the Federal Reserve. Okay, question. For income tax purposes, a homeowner can deduct what? Answer is property taxes. Explanation. A real property owner can deduct the property taxes she pays up to a certain limit. Okay, question, and this is a tricky one. An Asian American buyer asks to be shown homes that are located in neighborhoods that he knows are primarily Asian. If a real estate agent complies with his wishes, this is what? Answer is legal, as it is done at the buyer's request. Explanation. It is legal for an agent to show a buyer homes in neighborhoods that the buyer has chosen, even if the buyer chooses the neighborhoods based on the race. Nothing in the Fair Housing Act requires an agent to show buyers houses against their will. Okay, question. Cluster zoning, which allows smaller lot sizes and reduces frontages, is suitable if a development what? Answer, still has a density ratio with the general plan. Explanation. Cluster zoning is an approach to zoning that allows developments in a suburban or rural areas to have similar lot sizes and higher density, but also more shared green space. However, a development cannot exceed the limits on density established in the general plan, the community's comprehensive plan. Okay, question. Mark is selling his property, which has an unfinished basement. He gets a full price offer from Susan, but the offer requires Mark to finish the basement prior to closing. Do Mark and Susan have a binding contract? Answer, no, because Mark has not accepted Susan's offer. And explanation. For a valid contract to exist, there must be an offer and acceptance. If advertisement, like a listing, is not considered an offer, only an invitation to negotiate. The buyer is just that, an offer without an acceptance. Okay, question. Which of the following is true regarding a sublease? Answer, the leasee is still liable to the leaser if the subleasee defaults on the rent. Explanation. With a sublease, the leasee is the one who remains liable to the lessor for rental payments. The subleasee, the new tenant, is responsible for making payments to the leasee, the original tenant, who will then pay the landlord. And honestly, from what I've learned from all of this is, if it ends with like E, like leasee, grantee, it's the guy who receives. So leasee, receive. And the guy who gives, the leasor, is the giver. Okay, question. Buyer Perry would like to assume seller Jones' loan with ABC Mortgage Company in a way that would mean no further liability for Joan. To accomplish this, Perry and Joan should use what? Answer, release of liability signed by ABC Mortgage. Explanation. In a loan assumption, if the seller wants to be released from further liability, she must obtain a document called a release of liability from the lender. Okay, question. A buyer who records a deed is giving what? Answer, constructive notice. Explanation. A buyer who records a deed is giving constructive notice of his interest in the property. Anyone who later acquires an interest in the property is held to know about all previous recorded interests, even if she didn't check records. Okay, question. A veteran's guarantee benefits may be restored by what? Answer, substitution of eligibility entitlement by another veteran assuming the loan. Explanation. If another veteran substitutes his eligibility, a veteran's guarantee may be restored. Question. Joan leases a commercial property. In the lease, he agrees to pay part of the utilities and taxes, as well as a fixed monthly rent amount. This is what? Answer, a net lease. Explanation. A tenant's payment under a net lease include a share of the property's operating expenses, such as maintenance costs, taxes, and insurance. Okay, question. A quitclaim deed conveys what? Answer, the grantor's interest in the given property, if any. Explanation. A quitclaim deed conveys any interest in a property that the grantor has at the time the deed is executed without warranties. Okay, so guys, that's all I got for today. Come back next video to see some more questions and answers for the practice exam for the real estate license. I know we got this. We can do it. You can do this. I got you. And one day we'll all be just like hooking each other up, you know? Maybe not, but whatever. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next video.